Hi Sriram, good morning. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes. Hi Sriram, can you hear me?
Hello. Yeah, yes.
Good morning to you. How are you?
Good evening. How are you? I'm doing well.
Good, good. Thank you. So let me share my screen. Just a minute. Okay. Okay. So today we are going to take this topic called JSON. Okay. We look at this introduction to JSON, read, write JSON files, and a currency conversion example. So in this topic, we are going to look at JSON. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. It's a format used to represent and store data. Okay. Um, like earlier during Y2K or the year 2000, when internet has just made its wave, people could transfer data over the internet. Okay. You might have heard like initially you could send an email with some attached file size. Maybe it's a document, things like that. Okay. So when you are sending such content over the web, okay, so the web essentially was a medium to share information through emails, through websites, uh, and if you had to transfer content, okay, that is, if I had to literally pass some Excel sheet across, you attached such files in an email and sent across. Okay. Now, over the web, when you have to transfer data, okay, there were some stages in which it evolved. So take the manner in which you transfer files as messages. Okay, and when you say messages, it's mostly you would have had in mind emails, right? But when you are having one system talk to another system, okay, let's say the school website has some course information, and that has to be transferred into another system. Maybe it's a public um, healthcare system. Okay, so you have to send information over the web. We could attach messages. Okay, messages used to be a certain format. Okay, called there was even a protocol. There was a protocol. A protocol means an agreement. Okay, so there are a few types of protocols. One where it's called Simple Object Access Protocol, called SOAP. SOAP. Okay, so we will look at it. But information was primarily sent across as messages. And if you had to send a list of student information, those messages grew larger in size. Okay, so so it was also referred as a payload. Payload means you are attaching some data and sending it across. But of course, when you have to share information, the payload became larger and larger and grew complex because of its format. Okay. Now, that's when Douglas Crockford, a computer scientist, popularized what's called JavaScript Object Notation, or JSON. The web had languages like HTML. Okay, HTTP was a protocol. Okay, um, which is where you access information over from the web through a request and a response. But the scripting languages which became popular were HTML, hypertext markup language, and JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript was having a prior name for computers, scripting called ECMAScript. Basically, there was a common standard which was emerging as to how information should be shared across multiple systems through the web. Okay, so Douglas Crockford popularized what's called JavaScript object notation. Okay, so JSON used to be some files, simple as a text file. Okay, as simple as text file. JavaScript files are a simple file which will have a text file, and they have JSON. The file name used to have a JSON extension. It has a .json extension. It is a text file, and we'll see how that looks, but with some triple quotes. Simply think of it like a notepad text, okay, which has got some text information, right? So this is a JSON file, okay? So JSON has certain information format. Okay, so you can convert JSON strings to Python objects, which are like inside Python. We have seen dictionary, right? We've seen earlier a dictionary commonly having flower brackets and key value pairs. Okay, so these are dictionary objects or Python dictionary, also called Python objects here. So you could take that data which is in dictionary out into JSON strings. Okay, and same way you could have a JSON string sent into Python object as a dictionary, into stored as a dictionary. So JSON is a file, but JSON strings is a simple text string information which you could send it across the web, and at the other application, maybe the healthcare application built in Python, would store it in a dictionary. Okay. Now, how does it look? Now, here is an example of a JSON file. Okay. And inside, everything looks like it's a dictionary. At its first appearance, you see there are flower brackets, you have keys and values, key colon value. Now here is an order of a pizza. Okay, here is an order of a pizza. So you have size as a medium, there is price and the price of pizza, toppings, colon, mushroom, tomato, basil. Okay, so here there is a list inside this dictionary. So the list itself is appearing at the value position of the key value pairs, right? So here extra cheese, colon false. There seems to be a nested list here. Okay, delivery true, a client, and the information of the client is a nested dictionary. So you see there are strings, there is combination of data formats like a list and a dictionary. Okay, and of course nested dictionary. So this is how information is stored in JSON format. So simply put, we learned about Python dictionaries, which are key value pairs, but a mixture of Python dictionary and list and strings together is a JSON object. Okay, so JSON file will look like this, and this is a entire thing is a string, much like inside a text file. Okay, it only thing is that it's got a .json extension. Now, there is also a JSON module. We saw to read a data file, we had the CSV module, right? A data file which had CSV extension, we did import CSV. Now here you have a similar module also by the same name, Json. So you could import the Json module, and it has some functions inside it to load data, basically to read data and to write data. Okay. So earlier in the last slide, I mentioned like you could load JSON string into Python object as a dictionary, same way, and you store it there. And same way from that application, from that healthcare application, that information which is stored can be sent to other applications or extracted out into JSON strings. So in the web, let's say you have a school system as a list of students, and the other end you have a healthcare system, the healthcare system. Then these two systems having their own applications could send information, not like attached files, but over the web, it could send as JSON strings. And how did it look? It looked like this. Though this is a JSON file and the contents inside a file, it went like string, okay, with a key value pair. Okay, so it's called a JSON string. Okay, is this clear?
Yes.
Okay, so further, we see this import. Okay, so there is a import JSON statement which can use uh, functions inside it like load. Okay, we saw load, write, like that. Okay, so this is a statement where there is a file store.json. The file name is by this name, store.json. So contents inside store.json is a JSON string, and with the load method, the load function inside JSON module, we are reading the store.json and holding it in a data variable. Now, when it is stored in data variable, this is a dictionary, a Python dictionary. Okay, so this is stored as key value pairs. Okay, now once that is a dictionary, you know, you can print the values like data of square bracket store. Okay, so print data of store, you see multiple square brackets like this. These have certain levels. Okay, these are nested dictionaries. So I have inside the outermost value of store, you have a bicycle, which is again a key, and its price, it's still nested. So there can be multiple levels of nesting of the dictionary. Bicycle, square bracket, price. So this will print the price of the bicycle. Okay, so I will show the store.json. Just hold on. So I have a different rates.json. So never mind. So here we are opening in, I would use simple notepad. Doesn't seem to have anything. Hold on. Sales, scientist. Okay, this is another JSON file, scientist birthdays. Seems to be having some information here. Oh, there's a currency one also. Okay. So data is represented in key value pairs. So let's open one here. These are some scientist birthdays. Okay. Flower bracket, the file extension is .json. Okay, but it's still a text file only. And here Albert Einstein, 14 March, like that. So these are the other Benjamin Franklin, first 17 January. So key value pairs. Okay, everything looks like a dictionary itself, but this is the JSON file. So this format of sending data is human readable. Okay, keys and values. Okay, so that is one example. I can show the currency. See, so this seems to be some data of the currency rates. Like you have some forex, the rate conversions like that to the basic currency on a certain date. There are some websites which are having those common information. So they are having a nested dictionary of rates, currency rates, which shows the conversion to the euro in this case. Okay, that is one. Um, so, okay, so other sample JSON. So this is the pizza delivery order sample.json. So this shows key value pairs, weather, weather. So weather information. Okay, so there is various weather stations. Um, they have to show various types of information like temperature, wind speed, pressure, humidity. You see, um, these are the weather information. Okay, based on some latitude, longitude. It's wind, clouds. You see, the kind of information it is presented is all key value pairs, and it's multiple levels of dictionary nested. So this is the weather information of Sydney. What's happening is we have some web-based applications which provide this data. So this could be a weather.json, and it's showing a weather information of any city or any latitude, longitude, like that. So what you do is data is available with some endpoints. Endpoints means there is a URL. Okay, if you call that URL, it will give you send you data. Okay, over the HTTP protocol, it will send through the internet to you. Okay, or any requesting application. So basically, you're requesting for information and you're getting back the information. We will see that in API sessions, but for now, just pay attention to this particular format of data, which is the JSON format. Okay. So those are some sample um, JSON files. You will see the store, right? We were looking at. Yeah, hold on. So JSON store.json. I was looking to see if we can get to it. Store.json. Store.json. Okay, never mind. That seems to have multiple levels. So hold on. IPYNB. Okay, never mind. Once it is there somewhere, so we'll get to it. Okay. So, but for now, the store has bicycle and price. So that's what I wanted to show you that JSON, but let me see. Okay. So
I think if you search it in the file explorer, it could show up, maybe possibly. If the
this is a start button. Sorry. Well.
as it said, you could go to possibly the search bar on the top right in File Explorer, and is it there? It could possibly be there.
This one. Okay.
Yeah, and then search up store and see if it's there.
There you go. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that would take some time. You see, I did have here store. Do you see a store? Yeah, I think this is the one. Okay, here is the one. So store, yeah, never mind. So here we have the same JSON. You can see the store.json, store colon book. So this store has three objects: book, bicycle. Yeah, two objects: book and a bicycle. Okay, and if you see a book, it has a list, and each list has further values inside the first book, which is inside a dictionary, author, title, price. Okay, second book, okay, a category, fiction, author, title, price. Okay, and then it has another object, bicycle, color, red, price, like that. And overall, the store is shown expensive and some score. So this is a JSON store.json file. Now, what we are doing is with the import this module JSON.load. So whenever you're loading a data file, JSON.load, you have store.json. Okay, this will read this whole JSON file. Okay, and once you store it in data, okay, you can go to data, store this first level, the bicycle is the next level, and the price is next level. So store is a key, and the second inner dictionary key is bicycle and price. So the way you can access the innermost value of the price of the bicycle is like this: print data, store, bicycle, price. Okay, so is that clear? There are multiple levels here. Okay, so need to be here. Okay, so the method of, yeah, let's continue. The method of sending data in terms of a JSON string from one application, which is having a Python object as a dictionary, we are sending it to another application. Let's say the school uh, roll system, school students information, that over the web is sending to the public healthcare system. So then this process of taking an object from Python to another application as a JSON string is called JSON serialization. Okay, JSON serialization. Now here is an example of a serializing JSON. Means you use this module, import JSON. Inside the application, the data is in a dictionary. Okay, so this is simply a dictionary. The variable name is also dictionary, is equal to ID for name Rajiv, department sales. So this is some department information, and it's the name of that person or employee in that department. So this is a data to be written. I mean, this is already in one application as a dictionary. Now, when let's say this application is the public healthcare system and its department. Okay, so then when you are downloading, when you are taking information out, you use JSON.dumps and pass this dictionary as an parameter. So then what happens? You get an object. This is a string. Okay, the object which is returned is a string, and this is what we call as JSON serialization. You print that it will be a linear string. Okay, it will be just a string. Now, what is this indent equal to 4? Now, when you read from inside a dictionary and write to a string in the process of serialization, the file has to go as a string, right? So the read dump s is writing as a string, and when writing there is an indent equal to 4, meaning it has that Python's indentation to make it look appear pretty. Okay, basically that indentation is going to have to be made in the data. So data will indent, so that's appearing for why so you might ask. So if this same store.json is not indented, everything will be cramped up, everything will be in some haphazard manner. So then that's why this indentation is there. Okay, dumps, always think dumps means it is writing out. So here is a schematic where inside this line here shows, imagine this is Python land. So this is Python inside an application. It could be a healthcare system. Okay, and the dictionary here represents our employee information here. Okay, now whenever you are writing out to the other application through the from inside that healthcare system, then you are having this dump with a s. So dumps means you're writing a string. This s indicates it's writing a string. Okay, and this string is what gets sent through the web in HTTP request response. That means you make a request and the response goes as a string over the web. Okay, and then the other application, okay, could receive the system and load into the other application. Now, let's say we are loading that dictionary information back to the student system in the school application. Okay, so here school system has some list of student information. Okay, so when you load from a string back to dictionary, it's load with the s. Okay, so anytime between string and dictionary, it has this s here. So dumps writing out of Python application to an external HTTP web. Okay, it's going through the web And when you're writing, when your other application is receiving, it's load S. Okay. Now, whenever you process a file, it's just load and dump. Okay. So keep that in mind when you're writing from a file. So there is a JSON file, whereas there is a JSON string when you send it through the HTTP request. Okay. When get back here, sample JSON. Okay, so what we're going to do is for reading a JSON file, right? Uh, this this code here will allow me to read the sample.json file. So the file exists, should exist in the server. So let's go to this sample. Here is sample JSON. Okay, so this is the pizza order, sample JSON. Um, it's showing me size, medium, price, 15, topping. There are 3 toppings. So now this file is what I want to load into my, let's say, a customer order information. Okay, there is an ordering system over the web, and this file is going to have all the orders, and you want to load it into the JSON application. Okay, so let me just move the file first. Just give me a moment. This in training bootcamp IP by MB. Okay. That's one. Okay. So what I'm going to do to read it into the application, we have got the server folder here, right? Okay, now it connected to the server, and there you have that folder in the server. I move this file. We done same for text files earlier. Okay, so sample, I drop it here. Okay, sample.json. Okay, so this is a text file. Now what happens is import JSON. This JSON module is already in the environment. You have to just import it into the program. Okay, so import JSON. Then with open sample JSON, this is how you open a text file. We have seen that as f json.load. So I'm going to read this file. So json.load, and this file handle is going to load into this variable, which is my dictionary. Okay. And then it goes, we're printing, print the dictionary, and you can do for key comma value, data.items, dictionary.items, print both of them. Okay. And there it will print like this. Okay. So let's run this. There you go. So it read that text file and loaded into the dictionary, and you can see it's like cramped, right? So it is not appearing. So this is an entire dictionary, but it's a string. Okay, it loaded. It loaded in from the file to a dictionary object. So data variable is a dictionary object. So this is in our representation, we have done this. Okay, JSON file to into Python dictionary object with the load method. Okay, so you can try this. I will send this file the chat. Okay, please connect to Colab, and let me send this sample file. So that's a sample JSON. Connect to the server and drag drop into the server like this, like we did for the greetings. Okay, greetings.text we did like that. Okay. So here it printed key values. If you just print the whole dictionary, it's this right there. That's a whole dictionary. It sort of flattens, you see. This is what's called serializing. Okay. So here is the code. Did you manage to load the sample JSON?
Yeah.
Okay, I put it in the chat. Uh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Yes. I got the.
Okay. Okay. Very good. So that's we managed to load the JSON file. Um, okay. Now let's look at other examples here itself. So now for writing a dictionary to a JSON file, okay, we load it. Now we want to dump. Okay, dump here is going to write to a file. Okay, just it is not dumps. If it is dumps, it's writing to a string. But without the s, json.dump will create a file. Okay, so I'm having a dictionary. So I create one dictionary, person dictionary, name Bob. He knows languages, English and French. Past, those are the subjects. The past is true, marks is 45, 47, like that. And with open in write mode, person.json with open write mode, then json.dump. Okay, so json.dump, you pass this dictionary and give the file handle to that. So the file will be opened in write mode. This dictionary will be written into the file and you'll get the file. But where the file will be there, file will be at the server. Okay, so this is the same import module. Okay, writing using JSON dump. Okay, completed. So you just refresh here and then you'll see it. Okay, so person.json. I double click here. It's a text file. Okay, so Bob, the entire content has gone in. Okay, and this file you can download to your desktop. Okay, so that's your JSON here, person.json. Okay, so just using this, you're writing into a text file. Okay, I'll put it in the chat. Once it is written, just you'll have to do refresh here once to make it appear on your screen.
I did say you sent the previous code again.
Is it? come that? No, this is the correct file. Oh, hold on. Correct. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Right. Yeah. Thanks. Sorry about that. Yeah. Have you got the output, Sriraam?
No.
You can share your screen. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Run this code here. So json.dump. You run this. Yeah. You have to click on the folder icon. This, not that one. Yeah. This. Yeah. One below the key. Yeah. So there it is. Person.json. So double click on that icon. Yeah. So it's opening. It's opened up here. Okay. So that's what we have. Okay. Now, all right. Okay. So the next one, we are going to um, read a JSON string to a dictionary. Okay, here it is a JSON string. So JSON string is nothing but it looks everything like a dictionary and the list and all that together. But it'll, in this case, person is a string of the entire JSON file. Okay, contents inside the JSON file is like the same, but we have a string code. Okay, on here and here. Okay, so that's your person string. Now, when you're loading from a string, you'll use json.loads. Okay, loading from a string, json.loads goes into the dictionary. Print dictionary is going to just print the dictionary. Okay, and here print person dictionary languages. That means I'm just picking one keys values. It's English and French here. So that gets printed. So if we run it, name is Bob, languages. There's a list of languages. Or when you have to print the specific language, specific list of values alone, as a person dictionary of the key. So the inner key here is given and the values are. Okay, so this is a reading from a string into a dictionary. Load with the load is loads. Is that clear? Yeah, let me just put it on the chat. Okay, so, and the last one is writing to a string. Writing to a string, and yeah, for writing, we have a dictionary. We are writing to a string object with JSON dumps. Okay, JSON.dumps. So here we go, import JSON. There is an employee dictionary. Okay, employee dictionary as name, employee number, job, like that. And employee JSON, we are writing from the string. Sorry, we are writing from the dictionary out as a string. So emp underscore JSON is our string. Okay, So JSON.dumps takes the dictionary and puts it out as a string. The print type and all that. So this is a string. Okay. So you get this output. Though it looks like a dictionary, it is a string. Okay. In the internet, you get this string, okay, of that JSON dictionary from whichever be the application. So what's happening is, let's say you want to check the weather information, okay, from the weather website. Okay, we will look at some example, and the weather website is having what's called a service. Okay, service that if you give the city name, it will take it using a URL, okay, but also called an endpoint. Endpoint, okay, will be a URL which will have a parameter city equal to Sydney. When it is sent across, it's taking the key there, and that weather service is going to return you a string. Like this is what the other service would be. Weather service would be having the code as dumps. When it does dumps, you will get it out as a string. Okay. So, okay. So Bob, employee number 555, job as manager. The common one is used to serialize is this JSON.dumps. Okay, this is serialization. Okay, this is serialization. Okay, so the next one here, we have the store bicycle price. So did we load the store? We didn't load the store. So let's load the store. This one, IPYNB sample JSON. Sample was loaded. Sample was loaded. And what? So you're printing specific values, the price of the bicycle, the authors, like that. Okay. So what's going on here is we load JSON, read that stored file, sample.json. It's not the sample, hold on, it's the store, right? Or it's sitting somewhere else. So Python bootcamp, hold on. It's in this location. Okay. Store is here. Okay. So store, I'll get it on to the server. Store goes to the server. Okay. Now the store has a bicycle price. So let's say we're printing the bicycle price. So once we load, okay, read a file is json.load. Okay. So once we load the file into this dictionary, we can say data of store bicycle price. Store bicycle price, there is no comma, nothing. At each level is square brackets only. Okay. And here, the next one, we are printing the author names only. Okay, so author names are here inside a nested dictionary of store and book author. Okay, so to print that author, we are saying for author in data store book. Okay, we're going 2 levels, and that 2 levels is now uh, placed in the for loop, like for author in that. Okay, so and print author of author. So this is an index, which is entire row. I can say it should be row. And from the row, we are taking only author. Okay, the value of author is going to return like that. Value of author is Nigel. Value of author is Evelyn, like that. Okay, so let's run this. Bicycle price is 1995. We got it from here. In here, it's bicycle and price. It is going to give this value. And author is in store book. So inside book, store book, we have many books. And author 1, author 2, like that. So we're looping through a row and row of author. I given a row as a friendly name as author itself. So author of author. So it should have been something like row of author. So then each author name. Okay. That's on the chat. We need the file, right? Sample.
Yes.
Store. No. Store is here. Okay. Okay. So we were here. So what we have just seen is how we load data into a dictionary object inside Python. Okay. And similarly, how to get the data out. It could be a string. It could be a file. Okay. It could be a JSON file. Okay. Now, over the web, okay, over the web, we have public sites like which show the Forex website, okay, Forex information, where the currency rates are available now, like €1 is equal to $1.02. 1 euro is 81, or some information like this, INR. So this information is available in Forex websites, okay, and it's publicly accessible information. So what we are doing in the exercise here, or this example here, is we're going to use a URL which is simply called an API, okay. API, standing for Application Programming Interface, is nothing but a function available like a URL over the web. Okay, it's simply put, it's a function over the web. Now, when you write a function, you have some arguments you pass and you get some result, right? So similarly, here we'll pass some arguments, okay, some parameters through this URL, and you'll get a result back. So when you get the result back from that service, okay, or from that API, it's going to be in a serialized Python string. Okay, so that's what we have just seen. Okay, so we, like this, you'll get from that application. Now this is a currency application written in Python, and then it will give out a JSON string. okay, a JSON string. So that's what we are going to see in this example. So here is this URL. Okay, it's okay. This is, let's say, hold on. Currency conversion program with JSON. Okay, now what I've done here is this URL has been shortened with bit.ly. Okay, let me see. Bit.ly. Bit.ly is a URL shortening website, and so that's taking from GDAX. So we just look for currency. There are numerous currency conversion APIs. Okay, there are several of them. So free currency conversion API, exchange rate API. There's another web application called API layer. Fixer, this is one. Okay, fixer.io. Okay, Fixer is foreign exchange API. Okay, JSON APIs. So simply available as a lightweight API, a simple and lightweight API for currency and historical forex rates. The rates are going to be like that. So you'll call this URL, which is called the API endpoint. It's named API endpoint, and it will give out an sorry, not the error. It will give out this list of currencies. Okay, so why it's not working now? We have some access. Now, what's prompting? It's missing access key. So some applications make this API freely available. Others will ask you to get a key. Okay, and the key could be free with the subscription, things like that. Okay, so this is how it'll look. We are not getting out anything right now, but we'll get there shortly. Hold on. So every user is given some free monthly access for certain number of messages. Okay, certain each result could be a message. Every user is given a certain number of messages. Some of them are free for basic subscription, like that. The other larger volume of messages are given a subscription. Let's not go into Fixer. Okay, here is 250 monthly request, free get API key. This again needs a key, whereas, hold on. Currency conversion. Currency JSON looks like this. Okay, this is a JSON file which came back. Okay, so it shows all the currencies. So it takes this API and the key. So for now, let's try with this key. Sometimes keys are available Okay, this is good. Okay, so data.fixer.io, I had created the key earlier. That's how it is. Okay, so pretty print, it'll make it look like this. So sometimes the data which comes back, so this data came back. Now at this moment of time, see today's date is here. The base currency is euro here, and this timestamp. This is the current rate. It's real data. Okay. Now when it came back, it is having some look and feel which is not okay. So this pretty print will make it look pretty. Okay. This is with the indentation. Okay. Now you can indent like this. And that's the same thing I've taken out to this particular file. Okay. So that's the dictionary or the JSON which came back. Okay. Now, so in this program, we are going to, okay, of course, I made a bit.ly of this. Sometimes you don't want to give the access key out. So you can do a URL shortening. Okay, we'll get to it. How we shorten. There is a website bit.ly. You put a URL, it'll shorten. Okay. So then you can hide this API key like that and keep some access like this. Okay. So, but for now, that's the URL. Let's assume, okay, we can get to that URL also. Bit.ly, bit.ly. Okay, it's a service for URL shortening. When the URL goes too long and ugly, it is a service which is free. You paste that URL here. Let's say that's URL. Get your link free. Keys. Oh, okay. So one thing in the login. I have to keep accept all. Link. Asking login. Somehow doesn't go through. Never mind. We'll use the direct access key, but know that there are certain number of requests which are free only. Okay, some of them have a restriction there. So what we do is we get to this. Okay, instead of this bit.ly, we just paste the entire URL. Okay, for now from Fixer. Okay. And here's URL lib.request. URL lib.request is another module. URL lib is another module. We have a request function, URL to open or URL open. You pass this URL, it will open that URL, much like you do a web browser request. So when you make a web browser request, this URL, it takes and it will open the URL. And that data which came back, we are doing a read function and we do a decode. This is purely syntax. Okay. So when we just read it, it will store data as a with what was returned with this information. With this JSON, it will store into this Python dictionary. Okay. So let's do that, and then JSON.loads taking okay, what comes back is a string, pardon me. What comes back is a string. We do read, decode, and all that, and then we're loading into a dictionary at this step. That's why loads is used. Okay, so loads is used, and then we are taking it to a dictionary, and then say object.rates, because the outermost this is the rates key. Okay, what came as an object key is rates. So object of rates will give you the inner dictionary. Okay, now once you have the inner dictionary as rates, for rate and rates, €1 is or you can do key values here. Okay, €1 is rates index of rate, that is AED, will give you the value and rate. So the table which comes back is like key is rate, which is AED, and the key of value, right? So rates of key will give you the actual value, comma key rate. Okay, so that's going to print. Let's run this. Okay, so there you have. Okay, so this did a real-time call. What it did is this API is an endpoint. Though we have put the access key through, it is taking that access key, sending a HTTP or the URL request to open. Okay, for which we use the URL lib.request. It does the request, and what came back is read, okay, and decoded, stored it into this data. And from that string, it's loaded to a dictionary. Now, once it's a dictionary, imagine that table like this, key and value. Okay, this is key and value, okay, in a dictionary. So is this clear? We're just printing €1, whatever be the currency. Okay. Is this clear, Sriram?
Yes.
Okay. So over here, yeah, €1 is currently 1.12 USD. Okay. And for the INR, somewhere here. Okay. €1 is 93.93 INR. Okay. So what I'll do is, so currency conversion program, load currencies from Forex website. Now, E, this is a real key. I was trying to do a bitly of that. Let me try once again. Okay, showing me something. It logged me in. Cool. Okay, it let me in with the Google. Okay, and links. Create a bit.ly link. Okay, so now what I do, I've logged in with my Gmail ID. You could do so as well. And what I'm going to do is pick this fixer like that. Hit enter. So it will give you some free number. So this is a shortened URL, bit.ly. Now, once this is shortened, now this can be used. Okay. So this the shortening is optional, but a normal practice, you don't want to give your key out, but this is just a friendly way of putting it across in applications. Okay. URL shortening, just bear with me here. Yes. This access key. That should work. Okay. So we run this code once again with the bit.ly code and let's see how it works. Oops. Not the tracker. Not copy link. Not that way. Copy the link. Like with the HTTPS. Okay. It's a secure link. So now it works. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just share this code. Let's see. Download object. It's not coming from here. It's coming from Fixer. So Fixer. Like that. Okay, I'm just giving part of the key only here. So this is comments anyway. Object. Okay, this should do. Copy here. I'll put it in the chat. Did you get the output?
Yes.
Okay. So key points to note is we are using a URL for the currency rates from Fixer. And over here, we're doing the JSON dot load s because the API is returning a string. And we call that API with URL lib.request URL open. Okay. Once that URL is passed, read and decode, those are syntax. This data is going to be a string. Okay. And then on, we are just looping through the rest. Okay. So that completes the JSON session. Let's go back to here. Yeah, currency conversion program with live Forex website. Okay. So this completes the JSON session. The REST API is the next topic. We'll pick it up in the following week. So we have just finished these items. JSON file, currency conversion. Okay. Introduction to REST APIs. Basically, the API is what we saw here. Okay. Fixer returning a value. Okay. So that's the API. Of course, we'll see a little more in terms of the theory, the concepts, what are APIs and how. I gave a brief intro in this one. The next session will be a little more. Okay, not too much, but very much what's essential only. Okay. Any questions? Is this how do you find this? Is this clear?
So you go to the URL and then you
Uh,
do.
we basically have a service which is
Okay.
called an API. Okay, so let me even go to weather API. There are a lot of these APIs which are service. So real-time weather data, or see open weather map API. Okay, so here's some service. So this is openweathermap.org API. So any of these websites will have a API like that. And there is like some basic number of calls is free, but over a certain high volume calls is charged. But here, the weather meteorologists have given out information, current weather data with these APIs. So these are services which return various formats. We just looked at the JSON format. Okay. Hourly forecast, 16-day forecast, things like that. So go to, he'll give an example like that. This is a call and say example call. And the response you get back is like that. Okay. So the website itself has the documentation for how that specific URL or the API call is to be structured. The key is required. Many of these, in this case, latitude, longitude is passed, and then the weather of that location is returned. Temperature, so many return values are JSON. So that's one. And the other format is XML, but we don't do that right now. City name, weather. So here, this is the API and queue of city name. So I could pass a parameter by name Q with a city name. City names in ISO code. Here itself, you can test them. Okay. City, country, likewise. So zip code. Okay. We'll see this in the next session. Okay. So there are public APIs like this. There are more to it. There are some other things you see in the exercise. It talks about this particular. I put in the key. So you can create a API key for yourself and then it'll return the weather information. More endpoints are there. It could be a zip code, it could be city. You'll have to see specifics. Here is another one. This is a yeah, you can do exercise 3 and 6. It will require you to create an API key at their sites. So this one is Edamame website. It has a recipe search API. Okay, so you pass banana, it will give you all the recipes which are made out of banana. So likewise, so if you go to this website, it's a food database and gives a recipe search. Okay, so a developer, it's free once you, he tells what all is free there. But once there are other APIs, nutrition analysis API, recipe search, food database search. So let's try their own product recipe search. So here, yeah, I took salad. Okay, this is a demo only. Okay, salad, you could search what type of recipes you want. And then it'll search all the salads. Okay, and the further information. So what it is, it's a service or an API. Okay, all salads. So if I do banana, okay, all banana recipes would come. So this is the data returned is a JSON. Okay, so if I click on, there are more information. So the data returned is a JSON. Like what is the ingredients, all this is returned. This is a JSON which comes back. So you can try those two exercises which we left earlier, 3 and 6. Okay. This sheet is already with you, right? Okay, Sriram.
Okay.
All right. So we will pick it up from the next topic and then in the following week. Okay, so we'll start from REST API. There is some introduction, something about what is a REST API, and then we go into testing of the APIs. I'll show you a tool called Postman, and there is no code API. Basically, it's like no need to. The code is readily available. That's what. So we'll see some other tools like other applications like API layer and so on. Okay. Okay, you can get some practice on the hands-on on the IDE as well, PyCharm IDE, which you installed. Okay, like the functions which we created, like the tax calculation, create the function, name, and make it a function in the PyCharm IDE using the PyCharm IDE. So practice things like what we created earlier, classes, objects, and all that in the PyCharm IDE. So that will give you some hands-on. Okay. Okay. We meet in the next session next week. Okay, Sriram.
Okay, sure.
Any questions you had so far? Everything clear?
No, as far as I can.
Yeah, some learning curve is there. Give it some time practicing it. That builds a familiarity and you will be comfortable. Okay. Okay. All right, then we will wrap it up here. Have a good day. Enjoy your Sunday. Yeah. Take care.
You too have a good day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.